Today, the event will be marked by the official launch of the report that will be carried out jointly by UNFPA Pakistan and Government of Sindh. I humbly request our prestigious guest on stage Madam Minister Dr. Azra, UNFPA Country Representative Dr. Shabane, Parliamentary Health Secretary Mr. Qasim Sumro, ZABIST President Madam Shehnaz Wazir Ali, and Head of UNFPA Office in Sindh Ms. Behram Gul. Dear all, please kindly come on stage for the official launch. Indeed, this will have a mark on the event. Please hand over the reports. All of them. Yes. Dear Madam President, Mr. Shabane, Mr. Qasim, kindly ask you to take your seats. Madam Minister, I would request you to please address the guest as a guest of honor. It is an esteemed privilege, and we humbly request you graciously share your observations, insights, and reflections on the report, along with your perspectives specifically regarding with Sindh province. Madam, please. Madam.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Indeed, a great pleasure being here today. And Dr. Shabane, let me reassure you that we do not blame UNFPA for the rising fertility, at least not in Sindh. So I don't know what the other provinces may think, but not in Sindh. We take our incompetence, our failure to do things on ourselves. We don't blame others for what we haven't been able to achieve. So having said that, I think Sindh has been the most progressive province where family planning is concerned. And we have launched our Reproductive Health Rights Bill, in which we have definitively said that a woman's decision is her own, whether she wants to have children or whether she does not want to have children. Apart from that, I think we have also talked about Planned Parenthood in that, and the decision of both couples to decide on what kind of family they are going to have. So really speaking, it's a very comprehensive bill. It also increases the responsibility of the government to ensure reproductive health and to have safe delivery systems within all our units, all our health facilities, as well as ensure the availability of all kinds of contraceptives, be it long-acting or short-acting, and to make it accessible to everyone free of cost. So really speaking, we have stocks for about 2 years now, and that is, we haven't had any stockouts. Yes, there have been some minor glitches in seeing that the stocks go right down to the user level, and where we have to ensure that availability is there for even the most remote areas and the most marginalized of our communities. So really speaking, that's what it is. The major element of concern is the fact that very little knowledge is available in the society, in the communities, about contraception, of health associated with reproduction, and that's where we are lacking behind. And I think that we have to make sure that our women do enjoy a great degree of understanding of what they want to achieve where their reproductive rights are concerned. And this allows us to come to the second point. Not only is reproductive health rights and reproductive health a part of SDGs, because obviously every child that is born should have the best opportunity in life. And we see that children, if they're unwanted pregnancies, most of these women go in for abortions. And the rate of abortions as a means of contraception is very high in Pakistan. And that shouldn't be the case, because after all, every child has to be born if he is conceived. That is my take on it, that if you have been conceived, you have to be born. And the woman has to take on the responsibility of seeing that the unwanted pregnancies are not born. And that brings us to the rights of the government and the responsibilities rather than the rights of the government. The responsibility of the government is to ensure that the contraceptions are there, the knowledge is there, so that women can access those possibilities. We have done in Sindh, what we are trying to do now is put in family planning or contraception use. I'd rather not use the word planning because, it makes it very tedious that people are planning to do to have families. I'd rather say that they should contraceptive use has to come down to every facility, and for that we have decided that it should be a part of our preventive health care. And for preventive health care, we are looking at the most basic unit in health services that we have, which is the village dispensary, in which we have the government dispensaries, in which we are going to have maternal MNCH facilities. We're also going to have nutrition, immunization, breastfeeding, promotion of breastfeeding, and telehealth for health and hygiene and messaging. And also another thing is that we are putting in skill development for the women. So there are few things that we are making a holistic program of, and these are 393 facilities which we are going to upgrade, and we are starting this year with 60 of them. So slowly and gradually we'll be increasing these facilities to 393 with referral services for a comprehensive EMOC or comprehensive facilities where they can have C-sections with ambulance services available for them. So within a 50-kilometer radius, we are having these facilities. This universal health coverage is part of this package as well, and so that we ensure that every woman, every man, every child has access to whatever is required for his or her health. I have to say that our gender norms are very patriarchal, and our gender norms result in a lot of people thinking that men are the decision makers in our society, which they are. And we feel that decision making should not lie with just the male member of the family. It should be a conjoint decision making. It should take in all the social and economic conditions around that family, and they should be able to make a decision based on there should be an informed decision made by them. So really speaking, we as Sindh have tried to do our best in that respect. We have a country engagement group also, which is for the whole of Pakistan. All the provinces are part of that country engagement group, and that country engagement group meets every quarterly and brings up decisions on how and what is going to be their plan for that quarter. And then we have the task force, which is headed by the chief minister in the provinces and the prime minister at the country level. So really speaking, these task force have in Sindh, last task force hasn't occurred because this quarter we have been very much involved with our budget making. But every quarter in Sindh we have been having task force meetings with our chief minister, and that is, I think, commendable because that has put in forefront the fact that family planning is part of that we have to take really great care, decisions on population welfare, and that is what we have to aim for. Unfortunately, our NFC award, the National Finance Award, is based on the numbers of people that are living in a province, and this affects us, and this sort of tilts towards the political will of not doing anything for seeing that their population numbers reduce. This causes the governments to think in terms of increasing population. So priority for family population welfare department, finances for family planning is reduced because of that. And I think the first engagement that we should do is that we should be talking to governments regarding the NFC award not being linked or to be de-linked from population numbers. And obviously, this is a very crucial position to be in, because I don't think they are ready to listen to you about de-linking NFC from population. And I don't think in any near future, I don't see the possibility of that happening. Having said that, our general trend should be, I agree with the UNFPA report, that gender is a crucial element, and seeing that there's gender equality, there's preference given to women's education, and there's preference given to women's involvement in the workplace, so that we may be able to reduce our numbers. And that is how we should be tackling family planning. And I agree that vertical, horizontal engagements of all sectors is very, very crucial. The private sector is an element which is often ignored, because private sector does look at, obviously it looks at economics and it looks at the profitability, but we should be engaging the private sector, and we have done that. In we have facilities in the private sector where we give them free contraceptives, and the only thing we want them to do is share their reports with us. And they do that, and based on the utilization report, we give them further contraceptives. And this is, I think we need to further engage with the private sector in this, because I think the commodities sometimes are very difficult to obtain. And some of the commodities, especially the long-acting ones, the implants and the IUCDs, the intrauterine contraceptive devices, are very difficult to obtain because of the fact that we have an embargo with India, and Brazil is too far away for our imports. So really speaking, we need to see that we are able to provide the contraceptives to the private sector as well, so that they can give it to their clients. The other possibility is that our youth have to be involved. Basically, this is what is happening here. I see a lot of students sitting here, and I think our youth in our universities, colleges, they're going to be future parents. They have to understand their responsibility towards population growth, the fact that the stresses on resources that increasing population puts, because we have to look at, because as you know, we are the most food insecure country in the world, one of the most food insecure countries in the world. We are also, Sindh is one of the provinces which has a lot of malnutrition. I'm not saying the rest of Pakistan doesn't. The whole of Pakistan has malnutrition. Sindh is one of them. And we need to see that food security is our priority in addressing the issue of malnutrition. So I think that is one of the reasons why, again, we should be looking at the population growth with a very critical eye, and see how we are able to have a sustainable population. I'm not saying we should reduce our numbers to countries where the growth is almost zero, and where the older population is increasing and the youth is finding it a burden because of the care that they have to give, and because they are the only economically viable or capable of taking care of the older population. So it becomes a burden on them as well. So really speaking, we should have sustainable growth of population, at the same time a balanced growth of population, where our older population doesn't increase to a number where our youth are unable to take care of it. So having said that, I'm very pleased to be here today, and I think Sindh has to put a lot of effort into furthering the cause of this population growth, and seeing that our population growth is balanced and sustainable, and the increasing numbers do not stress us out. Thank you very much for being here today.